getting in their guesses, making decide what they want, and we're going to get ready, and we're going to see what our runners are going to find these first few chests. And here we go.
And we already know it's not going to be a sword from Uncle, sadly enough. And we will get to see a piece of heart.
Yes, Uncle is busy watching the moth tutorial as both our runners are headed on this practice princess saving mission.
There has been quite a lot of seeds that have been close to requiring you to do some fighter, sword, Mothfila, or low heart green mail, so making sure you know how to do that fight is crucial at this level of tournament competition.
Oh, absolutely. Our runners are going to have to pull out all the stops. They may have to sequence break very hard. They have to do things that seem crazy, but are going to be the right play, as we unfortunately still don't have a sword at Uncle. It's the bow.
And I'm always extra excited to see this bow, because I just... Okay, gloves, let's go back to that soon enough. But I just always want to see someone decide to go straight to Eastern after escape.
I've seen, I believe, 2 or 3 times where the bow has been Uncle item, and every single one of those seeds, Eastern's been a pendant.
Yay.
But bow and gloves, our players are very close to being able to do a lot of light world exploration.
Glove always being required does not unlock any item locations by itself, but it, in a bit of a weird way, puts a bit of a lower priority on getting bombs through escape, since you can quickly access the back 3 chests with the gloves.
Yeah, you can get them when you need to, as the first chest here in Hyrule Castle has the sewer key, so that's one of the 2 other. It gives a bit more credence to those last chests being a little more top-heavy to find that key so early.
Absolutely, and do have that map being located somewhere. Players will still need to do a fair amount of farming, and they do have a sufficient amount of arrows to be able to do so.
Yeah, 30 arrows, more than enough to take care of things, as we see some 1 rupee drops from some of these guards, and there's that map.
That guarantees 3 items in the back of escape.
Yes, it does, and that is going to be a very interesting proposition when our runners come to it. Right now, though, any leads or deficits you're going to see are mostly just through better positioning and a little bit better movement.
And at this point, time doesn't really matter. What usually ends up mattering is crucial execution in parts like Ice Palace bomb jumps and decisive routing.
Decisive routing indeed, as Dawnvenure, you're using the pot strat with 2 arrows, meanwhile SevenS1ns just plunking away 4 arrows into the ball and chain guy, and rescues the princess as they head up the stairs.
And that 50 rupee chest, combined with the 30 you can get in Blind Spacement and the 20 in the well, guarantees Bottle Merchant at Kakariko.
That is definitely helpful. Bottle Merchant is one of those that can definitely have something useful right out of the gate. However, neither of our runners has found a bomb, so there may have to be a bit of farming in the sewers. SevenS1ns has 2 more bolts to his name or 2 fewer bolts than Dawn at the moment, so that might play a difference. I don't expect it to.
Unless that key rat is being extremely annoying, it shouldn't be making any difference at all.
It really shouldn't.
Commentator's curse.
Well, you said it, I didn't.
I take full responsibility for any commentator's curse, as always.
As you should.
Thank you, I guess.
Is going to push open this throne door, and let's see if he does decide to try farming a bit.
This is the big snake room coming up. Snakes are not being very nice with their drops. He got nothing.
Yeah, 5 arrows, 5 kills, and not a single drop, not even rupees.
And never mind the uncle bombs in the back. 10 bombs, more than enough for anything in the early game.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge advantage for both of our runners, knowing that, okay, I've got this, we're set for that thing. They're set for Kakariko Village. They're set for the entire starting run around Kakariko as well as the South Shore.
And now it's time for that rat. SevenS1ns gets it down, has 3 arrows remaining.
I mean, 3 arrows. I'm sure he'll be able to stock up elsewhere along the way, as Dawnvenure only needing 1 arrow to get that key.
In the dark, no scoped, 1 shot.
Let's see where in these 3 chests we have Piece of Heart, and a Moon Pearl.
Yeah, Moon Pearl gloves. You know, I'm starting to think Aga 1 may not be required, but I've seen situations like this that still forces you to do Aga 1.
Yeah, it is entirely possible. They are still missing either the hammer or the mitts for Dark World access, and I'm sure they're still going to need some better equipment. There's also the possibility they just need the Lumberjack's item in order to get anywhere. Sanctuary with the wooden boomerang, so Lord Banana being found early.
And the red boomerang is... there are some few strategies you can use with switches in Ganon's tower, but mostly stunning Gibdos and Skull Woods is where it really shines.
Oh, absolutely. It'll also let our runners potentially check the stun prize. We do get an early map check. I saw Crystal, Eastern Palace, Green Pendant Tower of Hera. I did not see what Desert Palace was.
That was a red crystal.
Okay, so that's definitely going to be important. Also, Tree Pole having a small magic drop, and the Hoarder just giving players a little love. Let's see, is that going to be required here? Oh, that's the cave.
That could be required, but we have to wait until Bumper Cave to figure that one out.
Bumper Cave, it also could be logically required for, say, Burn a Spike Cave or the Laser Bridge in Turtle Rock.
Possibly, but players tend to go through those areas anyway, either by using potions or boots to dash through.
True, and we have a heart container here in the Lost Woods. And the SevenS1ns is going to check the other item in here.
And the fewer hearts you have, the more the heart containers matter, and the bottle is very nice to find before Kakariko.
Robbie Ford, the red crystals indicate crystals 5 and 6. Collecting those 2 will open the fairy that is stuck inside the pyramid in the Dark World. And speaking of fairies are the tree pole for a killed enemy, so that's very useful.
That's 28 hearts from a single tree pool, more than you can ever have.
Yeah, so if they can get close to a tree, life is never going to be an issue. So our runners are going to dip into the Master Thief's hut and see what he has got.
It's also that there may be a lot of the possible pulls that a lot of players don't know about. For example, you can pull the paw, I guess you can call it, on the right side of Turtle Rock's entrance. You can also get half magic and silver arrows in Blind's basement.
Oh my goodness! And another 50 rupees. That's your bottle vendor money right off the bat. So bow and silver arrows immediately in this seed. Combat is going to be, for the most part, trivial. And there's that cane. Oh my goodness!
This is an extreme amount of very useful items, none of which unlocks any item location, but silver arrows at less than 10 minutes? Yeah, I take that.
Everyone would take that in a heartbeat. Oh my goodness.
I'm dropping down into the well, and, well, there's a bit of fetch there with that mushroom.
Remember, Marjevich, don't eat the mushroom.
Yeah, I don't like mushrooms, so I'll keep that away from me.
And another heart container for a nickel, and a heart piece that gets a 6 heart container. So our runners are going to be very well prepped for this early in the mid-game.
And there's our sword from the bottle merchant.
Alright, so Wow, this sees everything coming up like roses for our runners.
There is still a fair amount of items that you need in order to actually unlock item locations at this point, but the items they found are extremely useful.
Dawnventure lining up the chicken clip almost gets it in.
I'm seeing fewer and fewer people do that with the chicken clip. There is a very small chance that you could actually soft lock the game with that chicken clip.
And a +5 arrow upgrade with silvers this early, that's certainly not unwanted.
We'll need to find some more arrows though. Players are a little bit low on that, but if there's ever an option to head into Eastern, there's plenty of arrows there.
There's more than plenty of arrows there. I believe the shop here in Kakariko sells arrows, and I think that's where SevenS1ns is going. Nope, they just sell bombs, so he's gonna restock. My mistake.
I mean, it happens. It happens, but usually that shop is just for bombs.
And let's see what is sitting in the library. We have just $50.
We do see Dawn opting to go through with the twins into the race game. Seven is just going to check out what it is, and there's the other cane.
Yeah, that's definitely a useful thing to see. So Dawnvenure is going to lose a little bit of time by having to, SevenS1ns actually is going to lose a little bit of time from having to double back and get this.
And with the Dawn making the save and quit, he is likely going to head down into the South Shore area. It is the most common and natural path to go following Kakariko.
Yes, and SevenS1ns we can see doing the exact same thing. So Cane of Burna gets rid of any need to take the cape from the Lumberjack, except for, well, Bumper Cave.
Yeah, it's literally Bumper Cave.
Although we have had those one-off locations be very much required, and you never want to have to do an AGA 1 check, especially really late, but sometimes you don't have any other choice. There's another piece of heart in the dam as Dawn is going to drain the well and see what's sitting on the outside.
The thing is still that among fetch quests that can be on Lumberjack, Cape is one of the better ones because you can always check what it is. If it's shovel or mushroom, you have no idea.
Yeah, that is very true. Though they do have the mushroom, and I assume it might not be a bad idea to check it on the way to Eastern if that's the play that our runners want to make.
The mushroom location is always a bit hard to route in at this point. If you have the flute, it's extremely easy. It's a bit of a way to walk, and you can transition that into Sora, but without those flippers, no fake flippering means you can't check the waterfall by a sequence break.
They do have the Moon Pearl, so they would be able to check the Well of Wishing, though.
Yeah, that's what I meant, but if they decide to walk up to Sora following the mushroom, they won't be able to do that.
Right. And, well, there's the mirror, and another 10 arrows, 3 bombs. So, and another $40 in rupees on the right-hand side. So, really, Eastern is fully complete. Oh, no. None of our dungeons are in logic yet. We haven't found the lamp.
Yeah, that's the thing. And with this mirror, I think the mushroom may be a bit of a lower priority since you can route that in with Catfish, and Catfish is very hard to route in.
Yeah, similar to Ice Rod Cave, where Dawn and I assume SevenS1ns are heading now. SevenS1ns making good work of that Cane of Burna. He is on 1 heart and losing a lot of time here if he takes a death. So I do like this play of being safe. Half magic, of course, making it a very long way he can stretch that cane.
Yeah, but those crabs here doing 2 full hearts of damage. Extremely dangerous enemies this early on.
Indeed.
We did just see 20 rupees in the Ice Or Cave, and Dawn is not opting for any fake flipper, and this point, it's Eastern Palace with Sahasrara.
It's Sahasrara with Eastern Palace. It is a crystal for once, so this is definitely a good play. 3 items here, plus 3 items in the back of Sahasrara's hut, so plenty of play here.
And once again, despite all of these items being picked up, no actual item location that has been unlocked according to the logic, apart from the mushroom.
Yeah, that's very true. I believe, 2 of the chests will be available lampless, and the third one, the last one that normally has the big key, we would need the lamp in order to get through logic, because it's not here in Sahasrara's hut.
Yeah, he has 1 1/4 of a heart and 20 more rupees. There is still the possibility for all 3 items in Eastern to be in logic.
Right, if the map or the compass is that last one, and Armos instead has the 3rd item.
We will find out in due time. I am pretty confident both our players are comfortable enough doing these dark rooms.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Our runners, you don't get to 3-1 against the field this stacked without having a few tricks up your sleeve and being able to maneuver through dark rooms, especially one that's as relatively simple as Eastern Palace, should be child's play for them.
There is overall very little challenge in this dungeon. After all, it is designed to be the first dungeon in the game. Well, there's the map, so 1 item at least is not in logic. And since our players do not have the hookshot, they will have to take the intended way here on the eastern side.
Slightly longer, but not too much of a time loss. And there's the compass, so not a lot here early.
It is an awful eastern, only 1 item in logic.
Although if that item happens to be the lamp,
that would change everything.
That would change everything. Although I'm sure that our runners aren't going to let a little fear of the dark stop them from clearing this dungeon the first go if they can help it.
Lamp is a major progression item at this point since it unlocks Tower of Hera thanks to that mirror and goes.
Oh, there it is! There it is! Alright, so there's your lamp, and that solves all the logic issues we were having.
Absolutely, the commentator's blessing for once.
And I suppose you get to take credit for that too, don't ya?
No, I only take credit for all the awful stuff.
If you say so. Anyway, this I believe confirms that the big key is in its vanilla chest.
And suddenly, Death Mountain and Tower of Hera are in logic.
Yeah, it brings those 2 into play. It brings like that lamp brings a lot of things suddenly much more available to them.
Indeed, we actually have Green Pennant available at this point, and that could be a very vital item in the seed.
Yeah, there's the big key, as our runners are surely going to clear the rest of this dungeon at this point.
Absolutely. At this point, the Dark World Access, there are 1 of 3 possible items that would give that. A hammer or a glove upgrade for normal, or a sword upgrade via Aga 1.
Yeah, it is also important to note that with the cape being Aga 1 blocked, they're going to need a sword upgrade in order to get to Aghanim. They wouldn't be able to use the normal cape strat.
That is definitely not something you get to say every day. And of course, with silver arrows this early on, none of these enemies pose any challenge.
Not at all. And our runners are going to be going into this Armos Knight fight. This is going to be absolutely trivial at this point. And they'll be mostly at parity as they come out of this dungeon with the first crystal intact. And blue mail as the Armos item. Dawn has got to be happy with that.
Sitting on blue mail, 7 hearts, this relatively early on is going to be a great feeling for anyone. But that's also first crystal at about 20 minutes.
That's not a bad time for the first crystal. So, everyone, we want your input. With the sea being this generous, that only means one thing. What's going to trip the runners up?
And obviously it's going to be something with Turtle Rock.
That tends to be the case, yes.
It could also be that something is on the bumper cave and then Boots is in, you guessed it, it's in Turtle Rock.
Right, because it's not something you think about, but you do need the boots as well as killing Ganon to get the lumberjack item.
And both our players is making the most sensible transition at this point, moving up to Death Mountain. It's this, a Genius Cave, or Sora, and this is where the most items are.
Not only is it where the most items are, it's a Zora, they can, like, if they fake flipper, they can get 2 items. Neither of them have the money for Zora at this point. And the Genius Cave, again, is just 1 item, so the logic says this is pretty clearly the play.
And also getting this save and quit point up on Death Mountain is a very nice thing to have, and there's our first medallion of today.
Well, that is Ether, and that could prove useful. We also still don't know if Mire or Turtle Rock are even crystals that need to be completed.
We will definitely be finding that out in due time. And this Ether is... it does have a few minor usage, but usually it's not going to be used.
Not especially. As you say, there are some times where it's useful, as we have... we had a nickel on top of the... We had a nickel on top, but SevenS1ns saw something he really wanted.
Hammer.
I didn't catch exactly what it was. Oh, hammer, yep. You are going to need that one. There's your Dark World access.
Absolutely, and suddenly the entire world are open to our players. Straight Dark World access from Kakariko.
And I believe this will allow them to check Paradox Cave. They can hammer their way over to the east side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, definitely. So continuing with this path, it seems like a good choice for our players. And also clearing Tower of Hera and getting the 2+1 item from Green Pendant in there.
Is definitely on the table, but I'm not sure an immediate Tower of Hera play is the right one. We'll see if our runners come to the same conclusion, but I expect they would check Paradox Cave and potentially double back.
I think if Tower of Hera is basement required, they will not be spending that time waiting for the tiles.
That makes sense. Yeah, if you can clear the entire dungeon without having to go into the basement, that's one thing. If you have to go straight into the basement, that's something else entirely. And we have Misery Mire and Skull Woods as our pendants. Thieves Town is crystal number 5.
And Thieves Town being a crystal number 5 is always a great feeling because you are going to be clearing that anyway because it's in such a great location.
Oh, it absolutely is. SevenS1ns, I'm not sure what he was doing going around like he did, but Dawn is in Tower of Hera, and let's see what we have here. Well, there's one of the items. It's the arrow upgrade. SevenS1ns going straight to Spike Cave. And with half magic Cane of Burna, this is a very doable play for him.
He even has the blue potion if he needs to use that, so why not go for it?
Yeah, he can go. He can even get back with what he's got.
Yeah, he's
Meanwhile, Dawn did find a big key, and just a heart piece, unfortunately, does give him a full refill, though. Yeah, SevenS1ns can get through all the way and all the way back with just his full magic bar and half magic.
He's not even gonna take a single heart on the way back.
He actually gained life on the whole exchange.
Yeah, you walk through a room filled with spikes and you gain life. That's video game logic.
Well, I mean, in fairness, he did farm a few hearts and then got a full refill after completing a heart container, but details.
Yeah, details. Video game logic.
So there is still one or... I believe a Tower of Hera has 2 items normally?
2 items indeed, and one was in the basement, so we're still looking for the other one.
The arrow upgrade, so... Well, it's not there, so it's either on Moldorm or in the basement.
This is a 50-50 situation at this point. Moldorm, regardless, will yield 1 item from that green pendant.
That is very true. Question is it going to be just 1 or 2? Dawn is going to find out hammer in hand. Hammer definitely more damage dealing than the fighter sword, but the fighter sword makes it almost impossible to push it off, so it's going to be interesting to see how he plays this.
Sometimes with Moldorm, it's not as important how you play it, as important as it is how Moldorm plays it.
Oh, that is very true. Moldorm playing very kindly, as Dawnventure getting straight through on 3 hammer bashes to find the map. Last item is in the basement.
And will you take that minute and a half in the basement to get 1 item? Or will you skip it? Also, very nice bomb jump from SevenS1ns.
That was very clean from SevenS1ns. We've had racers get burned by leaving single items in dungeons, and Dawn is not going to be another one of those statistics. He's going down to check. This early in the race, I do not mind this play. Yes, it does take a bit of time, but at this point of the race, it's not a point of one player is in charge of everything and you have to make crazy gambles to catch up. At this point, this is just doing your due diligence.
Definitely, and it's a bit of a difficult item to return back to as well. It's a long way to walk and the double mirror spots, and since you have the hammer to check the east side, you're not very inclined to come back up here.
Meanwhile, Dawnvenure is not going to do a block flip. He's going to just take all these tiles and just slash them with the sword. Interesting.
I mean, it doesn't really affect time, as to speak, and sometimes you just want to stay active during that segment.
And what do we have here in the basement? We have the shovel. All right, game. I see what you're getting at.
That's gonna be really good to have when they decide to go for the world tour with or without the frog.
It's very true. SevenS1ns, however, is not going to like seeing that item. Also, a shout out to everyone here in the chat who is coming in live from RPG Limit Break. Good to have you here.
Absolutely. Shoutouts to RPG Limit Break. Fantastic speedrunning marathon.
And I saw something on the floating island. Did not get a perfect look at what it was, as Dawn is heading in the Spike Cave.
It did look like some sort of yunk in my eyes.
Alright, fair enough. Mark Jeffers says yunk, so we'll assume yunk.
We will assume yunk until chat tells me that I'm wrong. Some nice Sora money there from Spiral Cave. It is a bit unlikely though that Sora is going to be a check in the not too distant future, since they have Dark World access and Village Forecast, Thieves Town, and all of that to check. Now she's just going to be picking up 40 rupees here over in the Paradox Cave. I am a big fan of using the bomb strat that Dawn used before, but the Moldorms, sometimes they're not a big fan of anything that you decide to do.
Moldorm, the mini Moldorms. Oh, there's our hook shot, so there's an easy way back. And there's the book. That's interesting. That opens up a desert palace to be fully cleared as well.
Pyramid Fairy is now in logic.
Well, it will, yeah, the ability to get those 2 dungeons. As Dawn is, oh, Dawn's gonna check that shovel spot right now. If he read SevenS1ns' bio, he knows that Seven does not want to find this shovel. So finding it, I think he may be making a meta call here. He knows his opponent doesn't want to check shovel, so he's going to cash this in immediately and see if it pays off.
It's just a piece
Just
of heart.
a piece of heart.
I'm still surprised he went for this because he could have gone to Hype Cave and then routed over here and just using the mirror.
Yeah, that would be a slightly better routing decision, but at the same time, it might not be one you think of until after the fact.
And SevenS1ns gonna pick up his items, and Donna actually has no plans to head into the Dark World at this moment.
No, he is. It looks like he's heading to Desert. He's going to clear out Desert Palace. And I don't. Again, this is a crystal dungeon. You're going to get 2 or 3, I believe, 2 items from here, plus the item at Aegina, plus the item at Desert Ledge. So that's 4 opportunities to pick up some extra progression. This is a fine play at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And SevenS1ns, he is going to be making the trip into Village of Outcast, Skullwoods area.
Yeah, I mean, both those plays are perfectly reasonable at this stage of the game.
Aegina's Cave is also a bit of a weird item location. Sometimes 20 rupees is not all that weird of an item.
Yeah, SevenS1ns, thankfully for him, the shovel not proving to be his downfall this time. And we'll see if he decides... Oh, this is an early ped check. All right, get your ped hype in chat. He is thinking... SevenS1ns is thinking this has been a bit too nice. Is this the troll we've been waiting for? No, just the bomb capacity upgrade. Ped's dead.
It was a trolley shekel, right? And it's always great to get that information away. If you know it's a pedestal seed, you know per default, okay, I have to clear all the dungeons. And in a sense, that makes your routing easier.
Oh, for sure. It's not a bad play to do so this early, especially when he's got reason to... He had to go that route in order to get to the Dark World, so a 30-second to 1-minute detour to get that information's not unreasonable at all. Dawn finding the big key here in Desert Palace early as SevenS1ns has a map check.
This makes the dungeon clearable, but that small key will lock 2 items on each side. And that could be important later on.
Yeah, hopefully it's something like Map Compass.
That is a possibility.
There's one of the items there's one of the items there. SevenS1ns is heading into Skullwoods first. Is not completable with what he's got, I don't think. I think you actually do need the Fire Rod for this.
You always do need a Fire Rod. On the other hand, this is a pendant dungeon, so just going in here to check the first few item locations makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, especially since he knows that this is not a ped seed. Dawn going to pick up a fairy just to be safe, I assume. And we never did see what was on the Desert Ledge, so he'll get a peek at what that is. Desert Palace boss is in logic that you don't need a Fire Rod in order to get to Landmo. You just need a fire source. The lamp will count.
And SevenS1ns did not pick up a key in the first 2 chests, so it takes the mandatory key. It's always in that one chest down there. And so far he's found 2 small keys, a map, and a big key.
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing from this Pendant Skullwoods dive.
It's unfortunately sometimes the case with Skullwoods, as 2 item locations are locked behind the Fire Rod.
Yeah, that is entirely possible. Dawn is going to head into this Landmo fight.
And as I say that, I looked away just as SevenS1ns opened the big chest.
I believe that was a map.
He already had a map.
I'm sure chat will tell us what it was.
If it was anything important, they will spam it in about a few seconds.
That is very true. As Dawn is going to take on these Landmos, silver arrows, making quick work of the ones. Of course, you do have to hit them. 2 for 3 on the first cycle. Gets the last one on second cycle. It was a piece of heart, and I'm being told the big chest was just 20 rupees in Skullwoods.
And SevenS1ns found yet another small key, so there is one item locked behind the fire rod in Skullwoods. Of course, Dawn here picking up his second crystal a little bit more than 30 minutes into the run. And here's our extremely important check for Aga 1, not required.
Alright, so that cape is entirely not needed. They've got the better defensive weapon. They don't need it for Bumper Cave, and they don't need it for Aga.
This is a very interesting decision from SevenS1ns, opting to check the graveyard ledge before doing Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town. I don't tend to see this often.
Yeah, he must have a hunch of something being here. Granted, he can't always just go straight back. Oh, he's also gonna check this cave because he can't check King's Tomb. He needs boots. Dawnvenure, forgetting which item is required to get into which half of that Dark World portal. Common mistake, easy to make for anyone really.
Definitely. SevenS1ns just gonna find a bomb capacity upgrade here at the graveyard ledge. Let's see if he's gonna opt to go all the way over to Catfish.
That might be his intention because, as you said, doing Catfish with the mushroom does give you a bit more appeal to those plays that otherwise would be way out of the way.
A bit indecisive here, but looks like he is heading over.
He'll also be able to, I believe, check the pyramid ledge. And that may be what he's going to do first. Meanwhile, Dawn is going to go through Skullwoods and get the news of the fact that there's nothing really in here that he can access as is. SevenS1ns realizing that he's not going to be able to get things set up exactly the way he wants, so he is going to turn in this mushroom.
We'll see if he's gonna find anything from this. He put this portal on the left side. I don't know how it goes when you're heading from the left to each side, but apparently it can't get over.
Yeah, it's very interesting if his portal disappears. It's an interesting piece of routing. It just might not work out unless he's got other plans for what he wants to do with this.
So
he can't hookshot back over. He just has to take the bridge.
So wait, in Light World you can hookshot from left to right, but in the Dark World you can only hookshot from the right to left.
Yeah, it's very interesting what you can do and can't do.
I didn't know it worked that way. I thought you could hookshot both ways in the Dark World.
Well, today you learned something new, Marjevich.
Apparently you do
it
need
looks
the
like
flippers.
SevenS1ns is finally deciding that the Village of Outcasts is probably where he should be looking.
Yeah, it's a good amount of items there, and at this point starting to run a bit low on possible item locations, although there is that Palace of Darkness full clear.
Yeah, Palace of Darkness is fully in logic, Thieves Town fully in logic.
You're gonna see some high-five in here as they're both gonna pick up a bottle.
And Dawnvenure is going to go into Thieves Town before checking out the rest of Village of Outcasts. SevenS1ns making a 90 rupee profit here on the chest game as Dawn picks up a tiny shield.
There aren't that many items that's gonna help you here in Thieves Town. Boots is the most notable at this point. And SevenS1ns really doesn't like that wall, wants to really blow it up. Oh, look, another bottle.
Yeah, and that one I believe had a fairy in it.
That was absolutely a fairy, and that's bottle number 3, so stocked up on a fairy and a blue potion.
Yeah, very well set for things as he's going to join Dawn in here in Thieves Town, and we found just a big 20. There's the big key, so I believe that was 2 items that we found so far, so there are going to be 2 left.
It was indeed a shovel. Or not the shovel, what am I saying? Shield. Both start with S.
Yeah, both start with SH.
Oh yeah, English is a language.
It is indeed, as Dawn is going to head in deeper into Thieves Town, making their way up this Stalfos corridor.
As we thank Viz now for also subscribing via Twitch Prime.
Chat pointing out more similarities between shield and shovel.
Dawn's gonna venture through this hellway, which today is hell.
It's only hell in days that end in Y.
Wait, isn't that every day of the week?
Glad you noticed.
Oh my goodness, I learned something today. I also learned that Tuckerism also subscribed to our channel using Twitch Prime. Thank you very much.
Getting all the subs this afternoon.
Players do have a lot of backup items, but Thieves Town can still be a nasty place with lots of high damage. SevenS1ns, he's gonna go through the lag way today.
Yeah, as Dawn finding the single rupee in the chest of the boss room, so only 1 item left.
He does have the hammer for the big key or big chest location. It's gonna be 2 item locations down in the basement.
You know, 1 in Blind Cell, 1 at the big chest, and then Blind, the Master Thief himself, will have either the map, the compass, or the last item.
And at this point, very little items have been acquired since they got everything in the light world.
Yeah, the game tends to give you a lot in a huge, very short span of time, but then after that, nothing.
Yeah, indeed. They will still have Sahasrara to check at some point, likely going to be made in conjunction with the dip into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, it does seem like the most likely play. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't believe that there are any other palaces they can clear. If Meyer is Ether, they would do that, but that's another pendant.
They also will need a Titan's Myth to head into Meyer.
Right, you need the Titan's Mitts and the flutes in order to actually get to that portal. As we have the map in the cell and the compass in the big chest, so Blind is holding the last item with him. Chad also pointing out that Dawn will be able to go straight to a Pyramid Fairy after this. Actually, both our runners will be able... Oh no, SevenS1ns still has to do Desert.
This is some really good long-term routing by Dawn. I will get to that, but first let us watch this blind fight.
And in the physics jokes today, as Dawn on 2.5 hearts has the blue cane out, and there puts it to use on half a heart. And a little sparkling swirl can damage Blind, and it looks like Dawn is just going to get there with tackle strats. And just a piece of heart, although it is enough to get Dawn another heart container. So a little bit of an early refill on health. SevenS1ns also in the blind fight, should not have much trouble here.
And just to talk a little bit about Dawn's routing here, he decided to go down and do Desert after getting Dark Hole access. But it was a long-term thought process from him, so that he could then go back to Kakariko, enter the Dark World, check Skull Woods, head to Village of Outcasts, do Thieves Town, check these items here, head down, do the digging game, Cave 45 into Hype Cave, then to Pyramid Ferry, and after that likely head over, deliver the green pennant to Sassola into Palace of Darkness.
That is a huge amount of both overworld exploration and a good amount of dungeon diving ability at the end, but just absolutely flawlessly done. The only thing that's stymieing Dawnventure a bit, he will not be able to save the frog with this because he does not have the Titan's Mitts, unless they're here at the digging game. As SevenS1ns going straight there, Dawn's on his way.
Yeah, Dawn's going to be able to check basically all of these things, in addition to doing the shovels, which SevenS1ns did earlier, but he's not going to be able to do the Pyramid Ferry.
And we have a lot of digging. Oh, it's a Master Sword, but that looks like 20 digs. SevenS1ns making the grid symmetrical as he leaves. Nice touch.
Now, SevenS1ns actually going to be able to do a little bit of a variation after Hype Cave. Instead, go down, check Bumble's tablet, and then head straight into Desert.
That is going to be an option for him as we get a Cave 45 check. Oh, and there's the flippers!
Which means that we do have the entire sword area in Logic.
The entire sword area in Logic, and I believe that also makes Swamp Palace fully completable.
That is true, Swamp is fully clearable. Now there are definitely some routing options here for our players.
Yeah, this is going to be decision time as you get a big 20 from Old Stumpy. SevenS1ns is going to check this dig spot and be somewhat relieved that they don't have to worry about that anymore. The logic of just doing Hype Cave to Swamp Palace, maybe throw in Bombo's Tablet while you're in the area, doesn't seem like a bad move.
SevenS1ns could do Hype Cave, Swamp, Bombo's Tablet, Desert. Dawn could do very similar, but he could do Hype Cave, Swamp, and then do the Pyramid Ferry into the rest, but he may be putting a little bit of a higher priority on the Pyramid Ferry.
I mean, Swamp Palace, you do have 6 items, but no, he's going to go straight into Pyramid Ferry.
No, he's just going to buy bombs.
Interesting. I guess he was low, but still.
Yeah,
how many bombs?
I didn't see how many bombs he had.
Well, he's got 10 now, so it's possible he was out. Just needed that for a refill. Bombo's Tablet, just with another piece of heart. Let's see if Hype Cave has any hype left. We've had plenty so far this seed.
There are very few items remaining.
We got a bomb upgrade, a full heart, a nickel, and 300 rupees at a Hype Cave First Savings and Trust.
And there aren't really all that many items left. SevenS1ns is gonna make this trip into Swamp.
I mean, I like this play. It's a little bit questionable whether you do Hype Cave before or after, but as long as he remembers to do it, it probably is as broad as it is long. As Dawn is going to take the big bomb for a bit of a trip.
And Swamp is one of the more bizarre dungeons in the game. 6 items, of course, as mentioned, very lucrative, but on the other hand, getting to go mode it is a fantastic feeling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there is definitely some time to be gained or lost checking the left side versus not. But we're going to see what SevenS1ns makes with all this information and all these items. Of course, he's not going to get one out of that cave. That's just key.
And this is a crucial moment for Dawn, because there's something here at Pyramid Ferry. He's going to have the edge at this point.
He's going to check the pyramid ledge while he's here, and just
Swamp
a big
Ice
20.
Rod.
Oh, Ice Rod here early in Swamp Palace. That's useful for Turtle Rock. Oh, Midset Pyramid Fairy, ladies and gentlemen, Dawnvenure with the huge gamble that pays off.
And that changes everything. He can do Palace of Darkness, Swamp Palace. He doesn't have a fire source for ice yet.
Yeah, he's missing Fire Rod or Bombos for ice, but I think from here he's going to be going straight in. His most likely play is my left foot. He's going to do a Palace of Darkness as well as turn in that green pendant.
He's following through with the routing I talked about earlier, going to delivering the green pendant at Sahasrara, and then do Palace of Darkness following that.
And it's just a chain of, you have all these cute little things you normally do 2 at a time, and he just set everything up so where you could just do these cute little combos back to back to back to back, and the end result is he's got like 7 to 8 items and is rewarded with the Titan's Mitts at the end of it all.
And the Fire Rod!
Wow! So that green pendant, absolutely vital.
There's ice in logic.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, if this is Ether, we are in no mode at this point.
Yeah, because the only thing that Dawn would need is the Ice Rod that's right in the, I believe, the first check you check of Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that was the very first test in Swamp had the Ice Rod.
Yeah, the only other thing he would need would be boots, and that would only be for the torch in a Grand Tower. Or Ganon's Tower, my mistake. Getting my Zeldas mixed up. Ganon's Tower, Grand Palace, you know how it is.
Yeah, there's always some amount of confusion.
And with the mirror, Dawn will be able to do a lot of these checks and just go right back to start. It's one of the huge advantages of having the mirror for Pod.
This is a very interesting situation at this point. And all of this, at this moment, was led from that early decision to head into Desert before going to the Dark Coil. That's giving Dawn a good-sized lead thanks to its routing, but it is far from over.
Oh, absolutely, it's far from over. And also, the decision to go through Desert Palace, even when a key was on the torch in Desert Palace, it was a little bit of a sequence break, stealing key from the backside in order to clear it out, but you can't argue with the results here. Because he'll be basically go-moding Swamp, 7-Sins, going even through the left side and finding Map Compass.
That's an absolutely dreadful feeling to get to see that. So if you're 7-Sins in this position, it does seem very likely you'll still head over into Desert after this. It's either that or go into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, and while Palace of Darkness, he'll obviously check Zaha, he'll have the Fire Rod from that, and he would be basically clear Desert and you're in go mode at that point, but if he finds boots, that certainly also helps a lot of problems. He may be putting off Desert until he can make sure that he can clear it completely.
And for Dawn, the big thing for him right now is that I'm pretty certain he's gonna head up to Dark Death Mountain and see which medallion he's gonna need for Turtle Rock.
It would definitely seem like a sensible play. He would also be able to check the Super Bunny Cave and the Hookshot Cave. In addition to those, he'll also be able to check the Ether Tablet if he decides he wants to do that check as well.
The boots are in Swamp!
Wow, so 7-Sins getting what he needs in order to make sure that this Desert Palace play coming up will prove very fruitful.
Wombos!
We're gonna have... oh my goodness, we could very well be in go mode. It's a 2 in 3 chance that it's going to be either Ether or Bombos in order to get into Swamp. It's going to be really awkward if it's Quake, though.
I mean, this is a really interesting location. Both items so wildly different in terms of items at this moment.
Yeah, obviously Dawn is not going to check the left side, and he's going to be very well rewarded in not checking them. It's going to be interesting, though, to see how many items he does check, because he'll be in next to go mode. It's also something to note that if he is in full go mode, when he digs Swamp Palace and gets the Ice Rod, will he go far enough and check the other chests? Because that he did have to go a little bit out of the way to get the boots. He might not check it.
Yeah, that is definitely something that can happen. On the other hand, still sitting on Master Sword, you would want to see an additional sword upgrade, so you could go and look for that.
Yeah, that is true. Master Sword definitely doable, especially with silvers, as SevenS1ns does take down Argus. But there are definitely some other options. Ooh, Argus having the big key, so there's one more item for SevenS1ns to check, and we'll see if he goes back and looks for it.
And with all that talking, SevenS1ns had a fantastic Argus fight and managed to finish him off with a single silver arrow.
So SevenS1ns is going to check this big chest. He is still looking for the fire rod. He knows he needs the fire rod, and if he finds Quake, then he'd be in. Then he'd be. Oh, he still needs Quake. He still needs the mitts, and the mitts are blocking a lot. So that's what SevenS1ns is going back in for. He wants to make sure he's not leaving the Titan's mitts behind.
Yeah, he doesn't know that he has to go ahead and do Desert. And there's the 50 rupees, but if he decides to go into Pod now, he won't be able to have as smooth of a routing from going from Pyramid Ferry into Pod.
Yeah, and that said, he is close-ish to where you would want to be if you were going towards Desert, but it looks like he is going to be going into Pod. Oh, he's going to check Hype Cave first. And then we'll see where he goes.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed first with these 5 items, but seeing him move to this area, he most likely prepared beforehand to go and check Pod, but with the boots, maybe that is going to change his mind and head into Desert instead.
Yeah, it's definitely possible that that's going to change his routing. That's one of the things that you need as one of these top-tier players. You need to have a plan, sure, but you also need to be willing to change that plan at the drop of a hat if items fall a certain way. Unfortunately, it looks like SevenS1ns is going to be headed towards Pod.
Or the Sora region.
Or the Zora region, or he may be...
Just check the island.
Yeah. Check the island, and he's gonna do the Hope. Yeah, he's going to do the Zora play. 1,200 rupees. 4 items potentially available. It's one of the densest locations he has left available to him.
He's not gonna be able to get. He's not gonna be able to get Catfish in with this. So he's not gonna go back and search around for that. Red mail is a nice find though. Oh, there's a final medallion.
Oh, so that makes it very easy for SevenS1ns to know that he is a fire rod away from being able to clear a fire rod and a Titan's mitts away from being able to clear. So yeah, SevenS1ns is a fire rod away from pure go mode, or fire rod and Titan's mitts, and both those items are in kind of trolley locations, but he's gonna pick up the fire rod for sure when he checks the Hasrala. And it's all going to come down to, does he think to check Pyramid Ferry for the mitts?
Definitely. He could have been ripped off worse here by Sora. Dawn got a really good Helmet Sword King fight, meanwhile, picks up his crystal.
Oh, SevenS1ns got a little bit of a better bargain than it first appeared. That was Sankheart at the Master Swindler.
Too bad you usually save and quit after that, so it doesn't really matter.
And SevenS1ns, he's headed to the Dark World at this portal, which makes me curious as to what his logic is from here. If he was going to Desert, he would probably just go the normal way. I'm trying to figure out... well, no, if you were going to Pod, wouldn't you just take the portal near Eastern?
He could. I think first he's gonna check Hobo, because he didn't check that.
Alright, I guess that makes sense. He's going... Right, he checked pretty much everything else. That was the one place he didn't check, as Dawn is making this Catfish play. He just needs Ice Rod and the 2 medallions. Boots are going to be helpful, but it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he finds them.
I'm just
Dawn's also going to turn into the mushroom.
I was gonna say that he did not go up here when SevenS1ns did this earlier, and I'm just continuously impressed by Dawn's fantastic routing in this seed. It's been such a long time since he save and quit.
Yeah, he's just doing such an amazing job of chaining everything together, and this is what we talk about when we go and discuss these high-level players. They have ideas of what they want to do, and they're able to just convert them into these really nice streams where they can just go on and on and on and keep progression.
And then into Catfish, using the mirror, found the flippers, can check everything in the Sora area. Everything's working out extremely well for Dawn at this point. It's not over yet for SevenS1ns, but he needs to make that trip into Desert.
Yeah. On one hand, he has to visit Desert at some point regardless, and hopefully the Fire Rod will be a little bit of a reminder, because it's a very effective weapon against the Land Molas, but it looks like he's committed to doing Pod first.
Yeah, and there are more items in here, and he's looking, he got hit. Or missed the monkey, because the game is weird.
Yeah, he may have missed the monkey on the mirror back. This may have been what happened. Dawn, getting Quake, needs to pick up Bombos to be for sure safe, though I believe that's also in Swamp.
Yeah, Bombos is in Swamp, and so are the boots, in case there is the big key on the torch in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, both of those were deep in Swamp. Dawn might end up missing them if he is trying to pseudo-go mode this when he finds the Ice Rod.
I still think he is more inclined to check the Turtle Rock area first. There's just that worry, will he dip into Turtle Rock thinking the Ice Rod is there? Because we've seen that a lot this tournament.
We have, but at the same time, Turtle Rock is a crystal. You're going to want to, if you are able to, make that your last crystal dungeon so you can go straight into GT from there.
There are definitely some tough choices, but he's gonna start off by making this trip up to Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, this still gives him 6 item locations, and it'll tell him for sure if he does need to go fish up Bombos. If it is Bombos, that's going to be really good for him, because in looking for it, he is going to come across the boots. Then he'll be in 100% go mode.
So even though I would say that Dawn is jumping down for no reason, but even though I would say that Dawn has had the slightly better routing in this game, because Seven has those earlier boots, he's still going to be able to make up a lot of time in these dungeons.
He is going to be able to save a bit of time if he gets a bit lucky with the on what plays he makes, as opposed to as early as what Seven did, because I don't remember seeing any really relevant items in here in Pod.
No, I don't think there was anything in here.
And Dawn is not even concerned about Super Bunny Cave. Oh, he might be doing that plan you thought he was going to be up to, where he's making this early Turtle Rock dive, thinking that he needs to do it for Ice Rod. That could be detrimental.
I still think he's gonna be checking the 2 nearby caves just to be sure.
It's entirely possible. Honestly, if Bombos to the medallion, it'd be a huge blessing in disguise for him. Because it's going to tell him he can't get the Ice Rod in here, at least not without finding some other stuff.
This medallion is the moment of truth, and it is Bombos.
Ooh. On one hand, Dawn is feeling bad, but honestly, he should be feeling pretty good as a failed hammer jump from Seven. Yeah, Dawn knows he needs to get Bombos in order to finish things off. That's definitely going to be, so that is going to mean he has to search Swamp, even after getting the Ice Rod. So that'll get him it'll get him Bombos, and it'll hopefully get him the boots as well, just to have that extra bit of insurance.
With the way that the dungeon was laid out, the boots are before Bombos.
Alright, so if he goes into Swamp Palace, and does the same routing that SevenS1ns did, he will find everything, and he will be in go mode before leaving the dungeon.
And SevenS1ns also did get the bomb jump on the bridge very well done. It's one of the more difficult techs in the game.
Oh, it's very much difficult. You have to do a lot of buffering in most cases. Not to mention the fact that it looks cool as hell.
John's gonna take a fall, has to go all the way back for a single chest.
Ugh, that's never fun, especially because this chest can't have anything that useful.
Sword upgrades are still valuable for a player's hearts, not so much.
Yeah, not that great.
So, we know all the required items, and even if boots are required, we know that the boots, the ice rod, and bombos, all in swamp. So, those two swords, though, still something that our players are likely going to be checking a few additional item locations if they don't find it before Ganon's tower.
It looks like Dawn is headed towards. Oh no, he's going to mirror off a spectacle rock, and he's going to check Ether Tablet, I suppose. And then from there, he might do Burn a Spike Cave.
It's a bit of a weird spot to teleport.
And 300 rupees from the Ether Tab.
There is nothing. The only thing they have left that costs money at this point is the Smiths, and it costs 10 rupees, so
yeah,
they don't need money.
Not really of much use, but Dawn is going to go into Burn a Spike Cave and be roared with just a piece of heart, unfortunately.
And meanwhile, SevenS1ns is almost done with this Palace of Darkness.
Has a nice couple first hammer hits in this worst room of the game. Having a little bit of trouble with the turtles afterwards, but does eventually get it.
Now we'll see where Dawn is gonna head next, and if he goes into Swamp, this is going to end up extremely well for him.
He's going in the swamp.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he has Bombos Tablet left to check because he didn't go there, but still, he's going into Swamp.
He's probably thinking he'll check Bombo's Tablet after Swamp, and then when he finds the items he finds in Swamp, he's gonna be like, never mind, we're in go mode.
He's looking for 2 items.
This will end up being a go mode Turtle Rock and a go mode Ice Palace for a Dawn. SevenS1ns has taken down the Helmasaur King. We'll be getting his map, and let's see if he finally decides to go to the desert at this point.
Go moding ice is always nice because it's a very long, awkward dungeon. Item locations are in bizarre locations, takes a long way to check it. Turtle Rock Go mode is not all that much faster, but the thing is, you don't have to reclimb the mountain to get into Ganon's tower.
Yeah, that does really help a lot. As 7 is walking back out of Pod. Interesting. Is he going to maybe make a catfish play afterwards?
Maybe.
Oh, he might be thinking Ice Palace though.
He can't go into Ice Palace. He doesn't have the mitts.
Oh, the mitts block so much you never even think about it. Yeah, it looks like SevenS1ns is heading. Looks like in the direction of Catfish. Dawn's got his ice rod. Oh, SevenS1ns is going to do Pyramid Ledge.
Yes, sadly, these are not the right options for SevenS1ns at this point, and in this position, we know he needs to make the right choices, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, there are a number of overworld locations still in play for him to check. And V29 definitely did alter the math, so where these overworld locations have a lot more play than they did in previous versions of the randomizer. I'd also like to give a big thanks to Grimalios for the 4 months in a row sub. Thank you very much.
I do appreciate each and every one of you who decides to sub. Gonna also be seeing here if Don's gonna make this trip over to left side. We know there is literally nothing there.
Yes, it's rather interesting that the two junker items happen to be at the two places that take the furthest out of the way to get to. Just 10 arrows at the catfish, so Seven's got nothing there, and we'll see what he decides to do with his information at this point. Like, the game has to be telling him that Desert Palace is the play. It's the only dungeon he can even access at this point.
This is just working out extremely well for Dawn as he's gonna get his go mode item soon enough.
Bombos was here inside of, was in Swamp Palace. I believe it was at the bottom of, the bottom of the drain room.
And no, the bottom of the drain room was the boots. The bombos was in the push block room. I don't know what that's called.
The waterfall room, maybe?
Yeah, I guess that's what it's called. A lot of the rooms have words that make no sense.
Well, we'll find out very shortly as Dawn is going to pick up his boots right now. So there goes Seven's speed advantage. He still did get a good amount of time that he had it where Dawn didn't. But at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 4 seconds, Dawnvenure is in go mode.
That's a really good time for go mode, and he's going to be able to go mode 2 crystals alongside that.
It looks like SevenS1ns planning to check bonk rocks, but ends up with a mirror bonk instead of the boots bonk that he was planning for.
And the only item at this point that can help SevenS1ns is a sword upgrade.
Yeah. But, Dragon Master very astutely playing out. Bombos being required to get the Turtle Rock and Dawn not having it was absolutely what gave him this huge lead. Otherwise, he very easily could have squandered this lead, spending all his time in Turtle Rock. SevenS1ns finally got the message to head to a desert.
And Dawn has taken down the R guy, and that leaves Argus. He gets the shot with the silver arrow. The big key, I don't think he's going to go back in to check that for his sword upgrade. He's likely going to be making the trips into Turtle Rock and Ganon's Tower and check it there. Ice Palace is just going to be a very quick clear.
Yeah, SevenS1ns finally made the right call, but he is definitely at a disadvantage. It's going to be interesting to see our racers' comparative times of when they get into and out of Turtle Rock, or into and out of Ice Palace as well as Turtle Rock. Because SevenS1ns knows that he's in go mode except for the Titan's Mitts.
And in a sense, it's always great to have Titan's Mitts as a go mode item, but in this situation, it's not beneficial to SevenS1ns. And since he has the boots in here with the small key, he may decide to check the 2 items on each side before doing Land Molas.
And it looks like that is exactly what he's going to do. Meanwhile, Dawn is going to be absolutely blitzing through this Ice Palace.
And this entire lead that Dawn has is all of a result of his routing this game.
Yeah, both intentional and otherwise. I believe SevenS1ns is going to find the other item in here. No, another map compass on the right side. Good grief.
That actually makes sense. I do believe both items were found earlier. Regardless, SevenS1ns knows that he has to head to Land Molas now.
Yeah, and at this point, he can only hope that Dawn is in the same boat he is. That's one of the real nerve-wracking things about the randomizer or speed gaming races in general, sure, you know where you are, but you have no idea where your opponent is. They could be 10 minutes behind, 10 minutes ahead, or anywhere in between.
Absolutely, and players usually assume that they are behind regardless of where they are in the game, because they just remember their own mistakes as they move about the seed and think that, oh, the opponent did everything perfectly, I didn't, I must be behind.
Dawn having a little bit of trouble getting the pixels for this bomb jump. Not a very easy bomb jump. Second you try, it does get it.
Yeah, you have to get the right pixel for your sprite, and then so you can put down the bomb at the right sprite, and then you have to make a slight adjustment to get that bomb jump across.
And a very good use of the hook shot, taking out those penguins in one hit.
And SevenS1ns now be entering this Lanmola's fight. Showing you how it is done one cycle with silver arrows.
That was a thing of beauty right there. And yeah, the second item was the piece of heart. And the swag spin as he picks up the crystal. But Dawnvenure is right above Cold Stare, so he's got about a little more than a full dungeon lead.
This is a really tough situation for SevenS1ns. It's definitely Dawn's race to lose, and he's still gonna play this very safe with Cold Stare, use Bombos on phase 1.
Yeah, with half magic, Bombos is a no-brainer if you've got it. It'll get rid of the ice shell, and it does not take nearly as much magic as using the fire rod would. Tries to get it pinned in the corner. Ooh, gets free. So Dawn is going to have to spend a little bit of time corralling this.
It's still a really good fight since he only had the Master Sword. It doesn't do all that much damage, so the corner strat is not as effective as it can be with the more powerful swords.
Yeah, but Dawnvenure has gotten the Crystal out of Ice Palace. He's got Turtle Rock to go, and that's it. SevenS1ns is, I assume, making his way to the bomb shop. He'll find his Titan's Mitts, he'll be in go mode, and he'll have to wonder how much time he is down. As hour 17 is for Dawn clearing the Ice Palace.
I think these are the last two item locations SevenS1ns has left.
It's definitely pretty close. I'm not sure if he checked all of Dark Death Mountain, though, but yeah, he didn't do any of that of Dark Death Mountain, so those are potential places for him as well.
Not at all, because you do need the Titan's Mitts for Dark Death Mountain as well.
Right, you can't even hook across from the Ganon's Tower side.
The Titan's Mitts do block Ice Palace, Mystery Mire, Turtle Rock, and all the surrounding areas. They are, as well as the Frog, and they are always required because you cannot enter Ganon's Tower without them.
Yep, because through Turtle Rock, I believe, is the only way to get directly to Ganon's Tower.
Either Turtle Rock or the basement, or the lower side on the East Death Mountain, but both of them, of course, are locked behind Titan's Mitts, and there they are.
Yeah, so 1:18:10, SevenS1ns is in go mode. I believe that's about that's a 14-minute gap between go modes.
14 minutes?
I believe Dawn had go mode at 1:04. But SevenS1ns booking it for Ice Palace. And we are going to get a sense when he kills Cold Stare of how big that lead is. Dawn cleared Ice Palace at about 1 hour 17 flat.
I'm still thinking numbers in my head because this feels weird. Anyway, yeah, he is a full dungeon behind SevenS1ns that is at this point, and it's a pretty insurmountable lead, but Ganon could always make some hugs.
Ganon could make some hugs, although Dawn has the Bottled Fairy and 2 blue potions. So, yeah, would need a lot of hugs and a couple falls for good measure.
And the Firebats do have some rather bizarre knockback properties, but we can talk more about that when that time comes, as Don still has to go through with the 2 following dungeons before going there.
And the big key immediately and 2 small keys. I believe Dawn has the ability to mostly rush the rest of this.
He got the big key already?
Yeah, big key was in the compass chest.
Yeah, see that there from the menu. Yeah, this is a really good go move Turtle Rock. Not often you get this kind of luck. But as stated, he may still be checking some additional item locations at possibly Laser Bridge and the likes to try and find a sword upgrade.
Is certainly not outside of the realm of possibility.
I really did like that use of the red boomerang. Cane of Samaria is a more standard item to use when you're in the change shop room.
He's getting this bomb jump, but he's going too far and he's going into the pit on the other side.
Yeah, unfortunately,
he's having a really rough time with this bomb jump. There he gets it. Down to 1.5 hearts, though.
The thing is, even when you can get that bomb jump, that firebar can still decide to just screw you over anyway.
And Dawn, with his small key, will be rolling through the rest of the dungeon pretty shortly.
We'll have the silver arrows for the upcoming gauntlet. We'll have the half magic with fire rods. In that sense, they have the equipment.
And red mail, don't forget that.
Red mail, 15 hearts, blue potion, fairy. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Double blue potion, in fact. Yeah, it seems really good.
SevenS1ns
is...
Don went and purchased one more.
I believe I know one of them bought an extra blue, yes. Dawn does check this big chest, finds an upgraded shield, which is something, I guess.
Blocks is this even randomized?
Just a little bit. Not too much.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will be saying no to a shield upgrade at this point. SevenS1ns also attempting to get Cold Stare into the corner. Gets a little bit of a better fight than Dawn.
And so it is going to be, looking like near 5.5 minutes difference as Dawn is heading on the final Samaria ride.
He did not press that. He needs to go back. And he realizes it.
Yep, looking for a platform he could hook to the void. And instead realizes that the return trip's probably going to be his quickest way to do it.
Can also use the hookshot to avoid taking damage from the fire bars.
And a magic refill, because why not? So SevenS1ns on his way to Turtle Rock. This should be a pretty short Turtle Rock, all things considered, compared to what it could be.
And no laser bridge.
Dawn has a key. He's not even going to bother with laser bridge.
It's some good small key management from him.
He's just been playing out of his mind the entire scene. Ooh, tried to do a Can Samaria dash to get through there. Just barely mistimed it, but he's on his way to Trinex.
Still a little bit of a tricky fight, only having Master Swords. Gonna take a couple of rotations with the rods to get down the first phase.
He's probably, if it were me, he would probably use hammer and not the sword. Because that hammer is dealing tempered sword damage to those Trinex heads.
Needs one more hit with the hammer.
And realized they was one hit short. Does get it down. Now he's
Cannot-
got the guy's head to deal with.
Yeah, he did not open up the menu before the head went down, and you can't open the menu in the game while something is exploding.
So, similar to the Argus menu strats, we're having Trinex menu strats, a bit more than you would normally have. And one more lunge from Trinex. The SevenS1ns has his big key.
Don got a very nice double spin there, did not get the additional hit, and we'll have to play tag with Trinex here.
Gets another double there. Having a little bit of trouble getting a Trinex stretched out well enough, but does manage to get it. And
That's going to
again,
be-
just like Colts there, only the map.
And that's also going to be Don's 7th and final crystal.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Marjevich, you know what time it is. In Ganon's Tower, there are 22 chests. Which one of them has the big key? Anyone who is a Speed Gaming subscriber or has made at least a 250-bit donation to the family of channels, get your guesses in now. Marjevich, where do you think it's going to be?
Deaf to Bob. Deaf to Bob.
So we have a Bob chest call. I'm going to go with my standard chest number 5 in the Stalfos room.
There is still a little bit of potential time that 7 can make up here, depending on left-right side decisions here. Of course, if this is tile room, which I know chat tends to love, sadly that's not going to be in 7's advantage.
So let's start with the Hope room. Chest 1, Mirror Shield. Chest 2, +5 bombs.
And because no small key, you are forced over to the left side, and that essentially guarantees that there is no left-right side decision here that can give 7 any time back.
Nope. Small key on Bob Torch. Bob will die, but it's not the big key.
I'm still happy.
Well, fair enough. Although you may need to take that up with Dr. Bob Tastic.
I can do that, that's fine.
And here we go. Chest number 4, 3 bombs. Chest number 5, small key, I'm out. Chest number 6, the compass. Chest number 7, 20 bucks. And the Stalfos dropping full magic container. The full magic container as the stun prize.
It's a bit surprising. I'm pretty confident that our players must have checked that earlier, and we may have missed it. The thing is that they've had half magic, so it hasn't really mattered.
Yeah, it really hasn't. On the firebar room, chest 8. Small key again.
And I, for one, love watching these boomerang strategies on the switches.
Yeah, they're really cool, especially to watch. It's you have bomb strats, you have Kanan Samaria strats, other different ways to make it work, but there's just something really nice about watching the boomerang just sail over everything to get what you need to do.
No laser brace from 7S1ns, and that's just a single green rupee.
Then the single rupee in chest number 9 into the rando room, 10 to 13.
I did see someone in chat pointing out that 7S1ns doesn't have any bombs, and he's gonna need 2 bombs going through Ganon's tower.
Well,
3
we've had
bombs,
at least,
actually, potential.
We've had at least 1 bomb drop so far in chests. He should be able to pick them up there. So number 10, piece of heart. Chest 11, second piece of heart. Chest number 12, triple piece of heart. Oh, randomizer room, your piece of heart room this seed. 4 chests, 4 pieces of heart. 13, you're out.
That was a thing. That was a thing. I have not seen that one before.
looping. Can someone clip that?
Okay, well, that was pretty much Hype Cave, I'd say. Standard Hype Cave in Random Room.
Dawn trying to get the teleport damage boost does not pay off, and he'll be heading to Bob's other chest at 15 or 14.
And SevenS1ns had a much better Trinex fight than Dawn. He's gonna make up some time here.
He's gonna wait for Bob to hopefully get out of his loop so he can check that chest unmolested. 3 bombs.
And never mind any bomb worries here for SevenS1ns.
So 15, 16, 17 at the Armos Knights, otherwise you will have to go right side.
And since there was no small key in the first 2 chests, this is pretty much still a guaranteed left side that you have to take.
Yeah, unless you get some crazy idea as 15 powder, 16, 10 bombs, 17, 10 arrows. We're going we're going right side.
If you are cheering for SevenS1ns right now, he needs to take the torch, the small key on the torch, and then head right side. Then he's gonna make up a lot of time here.
Yeah, it's a 4.5 minute lead for Dawn, but that could evaporate if SevenS1ns make this crazy gamble. And Dawn is going to double back the tile room later.
The tile room is basically always the last item location you check.
SevenS1ns getting these first 2 items in the Hope room knows that he's not going to be able to go and continue the right side. Let's see if he doubles back after the small key.
Nope. And the big key!
And there's the big key, chest number 18, 19 with another heart container, 20 with rupees, 21 the magical boomerang. And Jixon, our first sub or a contributor to correctly pick up chest 18, having the big key.
And Dawn was still spending some time there opening additional chests, as he still wants to find that sword upgrade.
I expect he'll be opening all the rest of the chests up the rest of this dungeon, hoping to find a tempered sword. Both these players, I'm sure, would be perfectly serviceable doing this Master Sword Ganon, even without silvers. But any help you can get is definitely going to be very appreciated.
Indeed, Phase 2 Ganon with only Master Sword can be quite the nuisance. It's very difficult to get a lot of hits in.
That is very true, and Ganon can definitely be a drain on your resources in that phase as well.
Now, we did see the powder being picked up, and that's a really good safety item to have in this later portion. It's gonna guarantee full heart moving into Moldorm 2.
And near full health going into Landmo 2 because of that Sparkle Star right before. As SevenS1ns picks up his 4 hearts. Unfortunately, Ganon is heartless, so that's not a full flush.
There's some interesting properties, though, with this upcoming bunny transformer thingy that you can turn into a fairy that actually changes the way that Landmola spawn.
Huh, that I did not know. As Dawnventure is done with the gauntlet, SevenS1ns continuing to go through past the rando room.
So entering this room here, Landmolas actually begins to load in already, and because he went and got that fairy, it actually makes 2 of them basically spawn at the same time, which can make this quick kill on the first phase a bit trickier to do.
And it's going to be a 3 cycle for Dawn, still very much ahead. It's a SevenS1ns up to 5 bombs. He should be plenty fine.
And there are two ways. There are 2 ways you can adjust this. You can either return back to the gauntlet on the right side and then move back in, and it will spawn normally, as to speak, or you can just stick around and wait a little bit in that room, and then you can make all 3 spawn instantaneously.
Alright, that's good to know for those of us who want to just fire and forget on the land mollusk if you've got a good angle. Is Dawn getting the 1 cycle on the 4 Wizrobe room?
And sometimes these guards do not behave. It is completely random whether or not you get hit.
Dawn breaking out the lamp for this fire room, saving his magic as well as just dodging the fire bar a bit more effectively.
It's also going to have enough magic for these 4 torches here. Doesn't have to pick up the full magic.
Yeah, there's a full magic he can get before Moldorm 2. And he's only going to, he's going to check both these chests. Find 350 rupees, but that's not what he wanted to see. As SevenS1ns is going to finally find the big key. And he's going to, don't say quit, mirror out, thank you.
He's definitely feeling very confident in doing this with Master Sword. Dawn does have 2 more chests to pick up. That was the first, and it had nothing.
Yeah, so it's the Moldorm 2 chest is last chance for a sword upgrade. Ooh, and Dawn takes a fall. It's a little bit more time the SevenS1ns can pick up, but still not a lot available to him.
The life of a Moldorm. You're trapped within this small space, forced to go around in random movements and maybe hit something.
Yeah, but those times when you do hit something, that Moldorm's a real hero. Don't let anyone tell you different. But 3 spin slashes with the Master Sword, that'll take care of Moldorm 2. And final chest, what do we got? We've got the map.
That's definitely not what he was looking for, so this is going to be Master Sword Silver Ganon for both of our players.
Yeah, and it's that second phase, the Firebat phase, where that Master Sword's weaknesses could really be pronounced. Dawn into the Aghanim 2 fight. Let's see if he... Oh, this looks like this could be a good triple setup. It ends up just getting a double. Another double for Dawn. Going for the 3 cycle. He might have a good line.
Oh, he gets blue balled, unfortunately.
Oh, unfortunate. Ooh, almost got the spike, but he's gonna end up with that one will get there. Oh, he's got 1 more hit, and now the Aghanims are desynced, but that'll take care of things quite nicely.
If he would have been able to get that ricochet, that would have been so sweet.
That would have been an amazing recovery, as SevenS1ns on a heart and a half is taking care of these land mollusks. He does have to be a little bit careful, I think. He's got his blue potion and his fairy, but I'm not sure he wants to use them just yet.
I think if you're in his position, you feel that you are behind, you spent all that time finally getting the mitts, you do not have time to stick around and try and play it safe, you have to go.
And nutrition experts and some whole grain knowledge Ganon's dropping on us as we go into the Ganon fight. SevenS1ns on the 4 Wizrobe rooms, so still quite a bit behind. As Dawn's working those spins up, Ganon not being that polite as to where he is sticking. Now he's in a good spot. That looked like it might have been 2 hits.
Yeah, that did look like a double to me. And
that was a double.
Yeah, definitely, but this Ganon with Master Sword, it is a long and painful fight that when you get into this phase 2...
that he just entered. He's got his hook shot out. That'll give him some decent immunity from these bats.
He could also opt to use an invulnerability item. He has half magic, and he has a blue potion.
He's got 2 blue potions.
I don't remember who bought or not, but that could be true that he has 2.
Chat said that Dawn was the one who brought the second one.
Always trust the chat.
Down to 2 hearts. I think He does also have that fairy, but I'm not sure if I wouldn't use that blue potion now. And there goes Dawn. He does have that fairy. So I'll bring back the 7 hearts. The 7 is in the Moldorm fight. That's more time that Dawn has given up.
And as
Granted, that's not a huge amount of time, but...
And if we're going to continue to trust our chat, you can't actually spin with the blue cane, and as we know, the cape was locked behind Aga 1, so there's no need for the magic here.
Yeah. But also, since you can't spin, you can't damage Ganon, since they only have Master Sword. So if 7ns can get a 3-cycle on this Aghanim, this could be extremely close.
This race is far from over at this point.
7ns with a triple. Dawnventure on 3 hearts. He's got to be careful.
Oh my goodness!
Double triple! Double triple from 7ns. He's made up the time. Dawnventure's busting out the blue cane. Oh my goodness!
But he's stage 3 now.
He's gotten through the fire bat phase. Dawnventure getting his hits in. This is going to be very close. 7ns on the 2-cycle Aghanim to bring himself right back into this race.
When Ganon decides to stop teleporting, we will see how this seed decides to progress.
And on popping his blue potion, one of his blue potions right there. He's got one more round of hits, and there's so Dawnventure in the 4th and final phase of Ganon. And, loses and misses Torch Glitch. He's got to be very careful he doesn't accidentally take a fall or something. That would be game over.
No Torch Glitch is fine.
Lamp strats.
It's fine to get no Torch Glitch. He's got more than enough magic. Just needs to play this safe.
Tries for a double and misses. He's gonna have to relight these torches again. Gets the freeze, looking to get a double. No, he's gonna take a single. Meanwhile, 7ns in the 2nd phase.
Dawn
gets
didn't.
a really good position for Ganon.
Dawn didn't
playing very close to the edge. Oh, that was an actual hit. Oh, and Dawn gets the kill. Very close, but Dawn does eventually get the kill. 7ns on the 3rd phase of Ganon, but it's just gonna come up short.
This was amazing recovery here for 7ns at the end, but sadly it's not going to be enough as Dawn manages to pick up this win.
As there's the door, there's the Dawnventure are stealing this race in the end with an official speedrun TV time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, 16 seconds. And 7 on the final phase of Ganon. It looks like he did get the Torch Glitch. He's on 2 hearts, but he does still have his fairy, so he should be in fine. 7ns forgot. He's got his fairy. He'll be fine.
That was really funny. 7ns actually got a massive spin in.
Yeah, he forgot that. Yeah, he must have mistimed it. And there's his silvers. Tries to get a double. He'll be wrapping things up very shortly. He also has a blue potion. And we will be getting both our runners in here in just a moment.
And both our players just managing to finish this race. It's barely a minute apart. Official time for 7ns at 1 hour, 43 minutes, 25 seconds. 1 hour, 9 seconds separating our players in this match. 1 minute, wait, 1 hour? Wait, English, it's a language.
English is a language, but numbers is also a language. 7ns top dunning with an official time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, 25 seconds. We are working on getting our runners in here for an interview, both of them. What a race this was.
It was definitely a really exciting finish. Dawn, even a bit accidentally on his 3rd silver hit, forgot to take the bow out and tried to light Ganon on fire using the torch.
Yeah, anyway, we are going...
The lamp, I mean.
Yeah.
So we have both Dawnvenure and SevenS1ns here in the commentary booth. What a race, both of you. Less than a minute and a half separating the final times.
Hey, GG, Dawn. GG. Well played.
Yeah, GG's, man.
This race was all about Dawn. You dug out Desert Palace a little bit earlier. Actually, a lot earlier, to be honest. You saw the small key on the torch. You decided to steal a key from the back and finish out the dungeon anyway. That led you to taking the Pyramid Fairy a lot earlier, and that was where the Titansmiths were. That huge lead was what you eventually were able to leverage that into a win, although not without some drama. So both of you, give us a little thought of what you thought from the scene.
Burn it. Delete it. I don't know, incinerate it, poison it. Can I get a printed copy of this so I can like smash it with a hammer?
No.
Why? It was fine. I mean, you had gloves early, you had the sword early, even your hated item, the shovel, wasn't required. All that was hiding was a piece of heart.
Those myths, man. Those myths that just ruined the entire scene. I did not enjoy this one bit. It was terrible.
I was actually yelling at myself. Like, after I completed Tower of Hera, I'm like, wait, this was a pendant the whole time? I just completely forgot about it. And then, like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go back in. I'm going to go get what's in the basement there. If it's something good, he probably won't get it. And then afterwards, after I finished up, like, Light Death Mountain and started walking towards desert, I was yelling at myself, like, oh my god, I totally forgot I need boost to complete this. And then I was thinking to myself too, oh my god, I should have just went straight to Piles of Darkness. Boots locked, and then I had Dark World access at that point, and then I went to the Dark World, and I'm like, alright, Thieves Town is the other 5-6 crystal, I'm gonna go get that, and then my hand's just like, okay, never mind, you just want to go to Skull Woods, because I just told myself I needed Fire Rod because of Turtle Rock there, and I thought Fire Rod is like, alright, Crystal Skullwoods, and then I dropped in, then I wanted to get out as soon as possible. I just dipped out of there.
I mean, honestly, if you wouldn't have known it from looking at your stream, it looked like you had this huge overarching plan to where you're just going from dungeon to dungeon. There was a stretch where it felt like 25-30 minutes between save and quits, and like you had everything planned. So where you do a cave 45, you go through Hype Cave, you go check the Pyramid Ledge, to the Pyramid Fairy, to Sahasrara, who had the Fire Rod. How was that, by the way?
At that point, because I delivered the Big Bomb and got the Titansmiths and got the Fire Rod at the same time, basically, I'm like, alright, I'm in the lead. I'm definitely in the lead. Then at the end there, I was like questioning myself, like, there's a very real possibility, because Titansmith didn't really open up anything at all.
Yeah, Titan, probably, honestly, the biggest thing that helped you out, because it looked like you were set on the early Turtle Rock play, only to find out that you were missing the one medallion that it needed. SevenS1ns had gone through Swamp Palace. He had gotten the boots, gotten the Ice Rod, gotten Bombos all in there. Swamp Palace having a huge trove of very good items. And you not having that knowledge and not being able to waste all the time digging Turtle Rock like you otherwise might have definitely prevented SevenS1ns from being able to get back in it. Although SevenS1ns, that Ganon's Tower, oh my goodness. You were playing out of your mind.
Oh, thank you. That was actually pretty bad. But thank you. I missed the bonk over the teleport path, the Arbos refight. But before that, the rando room, 4 pieces of hearts.
Yeah, I completely forgot. But yeah, 4 pieces of heart in the randomizer room. What was your reaction to that? I don't think I've ever seen that before.
That was so awesome. I had the 3, I had the 2, and I had the 3. And this is the first time it had 4 pieces of hearts. And I was so happy. I'm still so happy about this. Like the one thing that this seed made up. It put 4 identical items in 4 separate chests, but in the same room. It was beautiful.
Yeah, also beautiful, that double triple on Aghanim 2, that put you right back in it. Dawn was getting a little low on life, playing a little bit risky. Both of you took a death to Ganon, burned your fairy on it. Dawn, you were very close to, like, if you take a fall, you lose that race. Like that double triple from the SevenS1ns, that was absolutely perfect, and that made this ending very, very entertaining to watch for both of us.
I was like, if I still hadn't seen a dot done after I got the Titans mitts, at which point I already pretty much conceded, honestly. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be like a 130 jet seat that I completely made all the wrong gambles on. Like going into Spike Cave with the gear that I had. I thought it was a good logic read, but there was nothing in there. And then, doing a lot of stuff like that, trying to gamble, because I did not underestimate my opponent one single bit. And then I was like, yeah, I just saw the 1 minute in between. I was like, oh, wow, I actually had a fighting chance. That's pretty cool.
You had more than a fighting chance. You both played very well. Although, Dawn, one other thing I want to get to, this is just a personal thing I noted when you did it. You picked up the shovel early, and you immediately went and dug up the shovel spot. SevenS1ns in his bio said the shovel's not an item he wants to find early. Did you know about that? And if so, did that influence your thought process in checking it right then?
Like I said, I completely forgot I had Dark World access, so I'm just like, all right, I'll make my way down to Desert. I'll go check the shovel spot. And then by the time, like I said, I hit Desert, realized I had Dark World access, and then I'm like, oh my god, I could have did this when I had the mirror and checking Stumpy at the same time.
No, don't say that. I spent so much time praising your routing. Don't tell me you forgot about Dark World access.
I did.
Wow.
No!
Yeah, the collection rate for both of you, Dawnvenure 157, SevenS1ns 154. Both of you neither of you went out of your way and made a lot of moves that the other didn't make. Dawnvenure, this puts you to a 4-1. You will have a pair of win-ins in the next 3 weeks to punch your ticket to the knockout stages. SevenS1ns 3-2, still have to run the table, but after your performance, I don't think anyone wants to see your name on the other side of their bracket.
I hope I'll make it in. I really do.
Well, keep playing like that, and both of you have a very good chance. Marjevich, I know I've been talking a lot. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, I mean, this was definitely a race that went down to the wire. And as this tournament continues on, we obviously have a lot more races on our mind. Just now, we're starting a new race on Speed Gaming 4 between Hyo24 and Shaun CJ.
Yes, we also have Jighart and Leslie Pro 04. That's another 3-1 match that may be getting a restream. At 217, Magius is back along with Exit Zero. We've got 4 races coming at you at 3 o'clock. Some at 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9, all through the night and through the rest of the weekend. Dawnvenure, SevenS1ns, is there anything either you would like to say before we put this race away?
I'd like to say thank you to my friend and cousin who allowed me to come over and use their Wi-Fi because we didn't have internet where I lived, so I actually had to leave my house with a laptop to play this, and allowing me to race.
That right there is dedication. Everyone in chat, please make sure you give both of our runners a follow. That is Dawnvenure and SevenS1ns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say except for, thank you for the commentary. Thank you for hosting the race, and hopefully I'll never get a seed like this again. That literally, yeah. I don't know, man. My routing, like everything that I normally do, this seed contradicted everything that I'm normally supposed to do. So, never again.
Okay, if you say so. Also like to give a big shout out to our tracker, Hollowbro1994, as well as Feasel handling the restream. None of this would be possible without you. I'd also like to thank you, Marjevich, for being on the call with me.
Thank you very much, Ganon. It was a pleasure as always. And do be sure to follow all of our Twitch channels at Speed Gaming and ALTTPR Randomizer 1 through 6.
All right. For everyone here at the Speed Gaming family and networks, for our runners, our tracker, our restreamer, and my co-commentator Marjevich, I am Algernon25. We will see you next time.